Sanilo is Avi Ashkenazi. It's my mistake every time.
Okay, so I often hear people complaining that by the Kiddush usually it's when it's done on Cholamed, we usually talk about the halachas which are not so negay or topics which are not so negay anymore. Like Cholamed Pesach, a lot of people speak about the halachas of the Seder, and when it comes to Cholamed Sukkot, people speak about the Shanim, Kippur, or first the Yom Tov, which is not so negay. So I prepared something which is going to be negay for this upcoming Erev Yom Tov. We're all going to be needing, everybody's going to have to make a meter of shilling. So I prepared two general points to discuss. One is it relates to every Erev Yom Tov that you have to make a meter of shilling. And the second one specifically for Shvi Pesach, as it's going to be this upcoming Thursday. So generally, just a fun fact, the rate of tafshilin we actually have to do almost every year, not every single year. The freshman every second year when Pesach is not on Sunday, like it was last year, you have to make a rate of tafshilin. Based on Pesach, you can always know the Yom Tovim of that year. Up to Rosh Hashanah, Sukkot, and Passover, the opposite is not necessarily true. If you know when Rosh Hashanah is, not necessarily know when Pesach the next coming year is going to be, because it's Shem Noberes, Shem Shut, and also it could be Chesed and Kislev for the 30 days. But every time Pesach does not fall on Sunday, there's at least one Erev Tashil you have to do that year. So let's start. For last year, Pesach falls on Sunday, so Pesach is Sunday, Monday. Shvish Pesach is the day before. Shabbos Sunday. Shavuos is Monday, Tuesday, and Rosh Hashanah is the next day, Tuesday, Wednesday. You don't need to make any Tashil in that year. This year, Pesach falls on Shabbos, so Shabbos Sunday you don't need the first Yom Tov, and then Shvish Pesach you need again. When Shvish Pesach is Friday and Shabbos, and then Shavuos is going to be Sunday, Monday. We're going to have the Yom Tov. But every time Pesach does not fall on Sunday, there's at least one Erev Tashil you have to do. Now there is some nafkamina before. It's also a fact that by Erev Pesach, the first Yom Tov Pesach, when you're making Erev Tashil, it's going to be Thursday and Friday Yom Tov. The same goes true for Rosh Hashanah, Sukkot, and Passover. And also Shavuos, if you make an Erev Tashil, it's because Yom Tov is going to be on Friday and Shabbos. So there's three, at least some of the community that we find the deal is that in Erev Tashil, for instance, you're only going to have to make an Erev Tashil on Erev Shvish Pesach and also Erev Shavuos, and also Erev Rosh Hashanah, because you're not going to find Erev Tashil in Erev Tashil on Erev the first Yom Tov Pesach or Sukkot and Passover. Another nafkamina that it's well known is that when Yom Tov falls on Thursday and Friday, if a person forgot to make an Erev, in some cases rely on the T'nai. You can say that it's today's Yom Tov, so I'm going to make an Erev. But if it's Friday and Shabbos, like this upcoming Yom Tov, the T'nai doesn't work because it's already Friday, it's already Yom Tov. You can't do that T'nai. And then the third nafkamina that we find that Rebbe brings in the Sima that speaks about Erev Tashil of Zayin. It's involved that Rebbe brings an interesting thing that the Maisa didn't bring in the Siddur, but it says that when Yom Tov is Thursday, Friday, and Shabbos, like this upcoming Yom Tov, we should also perhaps add the line in Erev Tashil that would bring food not only for Yom Tov to Shabbos, but also from Yom Tov to Yom Tov. What's the meaning? That when you prepare your food on Friday for Shabbos, you're not only making food for Shabbos, but you're adding extra food, you're making something special for Yom Tov also. So that's what the Rebbe brings in Hanar. In the Siddur, he didn't change the Nusach, but perhaps the idea still remains that you have to prepare something special, not just your regular Shabbos food, you have to prepare something special for Yom Tov. Okay, so this was just an account. The first thing that I want to talk about that we do every year is what time, what day can or should you make an Erev Tashil. So for starters, can you make an Erev Tashil in advance? Can I make one tonight, tomorrow, or does it have to be specifically on Erev Yom Tov? So whatever already brings, it's brought down in halacha. We know with the second parak of Pesach, it's brought down the two reasons why we make an Erev Tashil. There's a machlokes. The Rebbe brings down many places that it's not really a machlokes. It's just two different reasons why we do it in a tafshilin. One is for the kavod of Shabbos, the second is for the kavod of Yom Tov. The kavod of Shabbos, that a person should remember that Shabbos is coming. There's also Shabbos, not only Yom Tov. So when I make a Erev Tashil of Yom Tov, I'm going to remember to prepare a special food for Shabbos as well. The second reason is the kavod Yom Tov, that people are going to make a kavod for cooking from Yom Tov to Shabbos. I can't do it unless I do an Erev Tashil. Kavod that from Yom Tov to Chol, So it adds on Kedusha Yom Tov that I cannot cook. Because for Shabbos I have to do something special. So the nafkamina, the Rosh Hashanah brings is that according to the reason that it's a Kovet Shabbos, the Erev Hashirim has to be done Dafka Erev Yom Tov because you want to remind the person to prepare something for Shabbos. But according to the other reason that it's for the Kovet Yom Tov, I can even make one today. I'm still going to know that I can make a Kal Chayber, and I know that Yom Tov is a Kumra that I can prepare for Chayber. So the Halacha that Rebbe brings the Ma'aseh, and it's brought down in all poskim that Lechatchila we go according to both opinions. So Lechatchila we have to make a Erev Hashirim and Erev Yom Tov. But the Avid, the Rebbe brings if somebody forgot to do it, and then he was actually didn't get a chance to. If he did it before and he didn't get a chance to do it on Erev Yom Tov again, he can rely on the Erev Hashirim that he did 2 days prior. That's of course as long as the food is still edible and still wasn't touched until after you finish the preparations for Shabbos and Shabbos. Another nafkamina that we find in this halacha is if you can also set the second eruv for more than one Yom Tov. For instance, on Erev Hashanah, if a person could set one eruv, if Hashanah falls on Thursday, Friday, and then say take a food that's going to last 3 weeks, and you say from one eruv I'm going to rely on Hashanah, Sukkot, and Pesach. So this is also dependent on the two timing that we said. The person has to make not only on Erev Yom Tov, but also one special eruv for every Erev Yom Tov. You cannot rely for a different for a eruv that you already made for. That's in regard to the first part, if you can do it a few days before or not. So we see clearly that the Tefillah has to be done Erev Yom Tov. The question is now, what about the night of Erev Yom Tov? We find in Allah many times that late Erev Yom Tov is considered part of Erev Yom Tov, sometimes it's not. So the question is, do we have to wait for the morning, wait for the day, or can we do tomorrow night? Can I go home and already prepare the Shushin and pick it up my list and I don't have to worry about it anymore the next day? So the person can bring to the discussion is the whole Fakir Machlikas. The Ma'aseh, most places can bring to the Chatchila, a person should do that by day, should not do by night. And they bring the one from the man is part of the Shabbos, so it has to be done by day. Now we see there's a sikha from the Rebbe of Erev Rosh Hashanah Zayin, Erev Tisma, where the Rebbe, that year Rosh Hashanah was Thursday, Friday, the Rebbe speaks about the idea of Erev Hashanah. And the Rebbe discusses many details about Erev Hashanah, what the Maila of Erev Hashanah, what the Kiddush of Erev Hashanah is regarding the Eruvim, that by Erev Hashanah we have to we say that we're Mizaki other people, we don't find this by Erev Hashanah or Erev Chatzedus. And then it goes on in the idea of the spiritual sense of Erev Hashanah, this is late Erev Hashanah. And then in the middle, the Rebbe mentions that this Chod Alit shows of Erev Hashanah, and perhaps the idea of Erev Hashanah applies from the night of Erev Hashanah. So from the Sikha was mashma that we can even make an Erev Hashanah on the night of Erev Hashanah. So there's many articles that were written about it, and then later on somebody probably I think about Rebbe. He was doing shimon at the time, and he says that the Rabbanim of the Heights approached the Rebbe. They wrote a letter to the Rebbe asking if this was the Rebbe said that you can do it of the shimon at night. And so the Rebbe mentioned also that it's not practically a law, and also spiritually that it applies to the night of the Yom Tov. So they asked the Rebbe if it's lawful lemaisa. The Rebbe answered back. It's printed in the notice that it does not apply to lawful lemaisa. Lemaisa, the average, if somebody was traveling, whatever the case, you can definitely rely, of course, because the Rebbe says even this before, but the Ma'aseh seems from the Rebbe that it's not does not apply to the night of Erev Yom Tov. So we see from here that it has to be done that on the day of Erev Yom Tov, because you should not do a night. Just to point out that I mentioned there's a few laws that differentiate between the night of Erev Yom Tov. We have Erev Pesach also, where if you're eating matzah, or may not eat matzah the whole 30 days, but Pidim, not to eat matzah at Pesach, also not to eat the lot at Pesach. We know may not to eat the stuff of the charesis and the modern that says clearly that it's the blanket, but all the other inanim also mitzad the causes down and Erev Yom Tov. There's a different akidas and law that applies to the night of Erev Yom Tov. No, or not. Okay, the next point about the time of it, so we established that it should be done after on Erev Yom Tov and still on day of Erev Yom Tov. The question is, what time? Can we do in the morning, or should we wait to do in the afternoon, or closer to Shabbos? So this is another topic that's put on the poskim, closer to Yom Tov. On Erev Yom Tov, yeah, if you have to do it in the morning, or closer to Yom Tov, or during the day. So it's brought down as far that even though that generally speaking we say zizim makdim in the mitzvahs, when it comes to the tafshilim, we don't say that, and a person should actually prepare it close to Yom Tov. That's what it's brought down in Minnesota. Now, from the sikha that we mentioned, the later Rosh Hashanah, it's mashma not only the Rebbe was talking about the night of Erev Tashrin, but it's mashma that we do say this in the mitzvahs. The Rebbe specifically said regarding the spiritual aspect of Erev Tashrin and having nice, etc. But so it's mashma for this that we do say this in the mitzvahs that a person should do the Erev Tashrin early in the morning and not wait till closer to Yom Tov. Also, another reason to say that we find actually by Bruce, the Rebbe writes that a person should not forget to do it. The Rebbe brings regarding Bruce that we know that we did Bruce we did that last year before after the Shemitah. So the idea is that Bruce is going to know all the halachos that I did the previous year. But if I do in the morning on Rosh Hashanah, what if somebody borrows money from me or after that, what's going to happen? So the Rebbe writes that nevertheless we do it in the morning for two reasons. Number one is because a person might end up forgetting, and you always see people gathering on the night of Rosh Hashanah, or even doesn't done it. And then also another reason that I mentioned is because in the morning you already have a meeting, you already have a basic, you already have 3 people at least to do what you're already doing it anyway, so you can do the proof of that. So we see the concept that a person should not forget is also a sort of say, even though and we see even stronger for the idea of not forgetting, because the whole idea is to get a meeting, you can get a meeting by midnight also and Rosh. So we see that the strong sort of to say that you should do in the morning, not to end up forgetting. So this is based on the sikh. However, we find it's brought down. There's a shimas from Rav, and it was published a few years ago in one of the Chudas, that in Motzi Shabbos Shuva, Toshim Amedalev, the year of Rosh Hashanah was Thursday and Friday. So he writes that on Erev Rosh Hashanah, he asked the Rebbe at night if he could make a Erev Tashrin then, the night of Erev Rosh Hashanah, or because he claimed to the Rebbe that tomorrow it's going to be a busy day at Rosh Hashanah with oil and we're going to come back very late. And the Rebbe said no, not to do it at night, but he should do closer to Yom Tov. So we see from here clearly that the Iraq of the Rebbe is it's not just based on the Sikh. What we see here that the Kharata writes in the Rebbe told him to do the Erev Tashrin closer to Yom Tov, and we don't say Zeriz and Maktin and Mitzvahs by Erev Tashrin. Also another swara to say that you should wait till the end, it's further on the swara, is that a person should not forget, but also should not forget to eat it, not eat by mistake. You know that the Erev Tashrin has to be valid until you finish your preparation for Shabbos, or even for Shabbos. I'm not getting into that, but so we see that the last time you have something set up for Erev Tashrin, the last chance there is it's going to be eaten. So if you set it closer to Yom Tov, it's going to be a bigger, better chance for you to have it for Yom Tov. Also, some are made from the Alter Rebbe in similar stomach, and then the Alter Rebbe brings that you have to ask your family if you prepare Meiser. Those times that they did Erev Chatzirus every Erev Shabbos, you have to remind them to do Erev Chatzirus. And the Alter Rebbe mentions that you should not tell them, you should not remind them while there's still a long time during the day, because if you do so, they're going to say, oh, I still have a few hours to do it. So it's also another point where the Alter Rebbe makes it clear that the person has to, there's mashma one way that you have to wait till closer to Shabbos to remind your family to do Meisters and Erev Chatzirus, but on the other hand, the person should not forget to do it. So we take that into consideration. So the Sikum Advarim, so the idea is to do it Dafke and Yom Tov, Dafke during the day, and based on what we see the Rebbe is that it should be done closer to Yom Tov and not so early, as long as the person remembers to do it. One more point that I would like to speak about in this first part, about the things that are negative for every year that we do in Erev Tashrin, is do we have to actually make, do you have to cook something special for Erev Tashrin, or at least take something that you cook on Erev Yom Tov Dafke, or can I take an egg or a fish, meat, whatever you want to take, not again to what's better or not, or can I take something that is already prepared 2 days in advance and I just make an Erev Yom Tov, or do we have to actually take from a food that you're cooking on Erev Yom Tov? So it's also brought down in the Mishnah brings, in he brings 2 places that the Chatila person should actually cook, or take something that he cooked on Erev Yom Tov itself, based on the back, and also the says somewhere else that it is better not only to make Erev Tashrin on Erev Yom Tov, but also to cook or to take from a food that you cooked on Erev Yom Tov Dafke, because you're showing that you're preparing something for Shabbos. I think that's the spot. So I saw in one of the Mishnah Gurus they have in at least in the newer editions, they write there in the bottom that this is the Mishavura, but according to the Alter Rebbe, they bring from Steve, I think it's Ches, in the Simon Tafkufosai, that the Alter Rebbe passing mentions that what kind of food can you use for your tashim? Does it have to be bishul? Does it have to be kalvush or merushon? And the Rebbe mentions that there's a dog in Titanium, there's a small fish, that all you have to do is to wash them. They're very thin, so all you have to do, you don't have to cook them, all you have to do is to wash them in hot water, and that they already become, might also. The Rebbe says you can do either tashim with that. And then the Darshan of the Rebbe there, he says, yeah, so we see from here this Masha, he brings the Rebbe holds that apparently even the Chafchila, there's no reason to do that. It's not needed to make it dafka, to cook it dafka on a yomtiv, because it says that if you wash those fish on a yomtiv or even before, mutter le'are, you can use that to do any tashim, and after that we'll go into the discussion if it's if you have to cook it or not. So that's what he writes. That it's much more about that we're not so much in using a special something that was cooked on a yomtiv. However, if you look at somewhere else in Al Rebbe, it's a debate. Al Rebbe the lotion is shalidei shatam maskikin levashin, not shalab on a yomtiv. Al Rebbe used the lotion levashin, so it's not so clear what the shit Al Rebbe is. But the other Christians say that you should actually cook or use something that was cooked specifically on a yomtiv for the shit. Okay, second nakuda that I would like to speak about is more specifically maybe for this year, for this upcoming Yom Tov. It's for Erev Shisha Pesach. So the two questions. First question, I'm not going to get so much into it. Is can you use machine made matzah for native tashimim? So we find a similar question regarding the Chatzidus. We can use machine made matzahs, and also there's a question that. I don't know what the answer is, but the Maisa we see them when I'm active is how can we make a Erev Chatzidus that a place with regular Shmona Matzah for the last couple of weeks of the year after Purim to Pesach, we're not to eat. I know it's a minute, but the end of the day we're not to eat handmade Shmona Matzah, but at the end of the day we see that we're not in that. But when it comes to on Pesach, either Erev Chatzidus or Erev Tashimim during Pesach, or Erev Tashimim when you have to do on Erev Pesach, we say that you should not use machine matzahs because we're not going to eat it on Pesach. So you should make sure to actually use handmade shmura matzah for the Erev. There's actually some who hold that machine made matzah is because of the chametz gomer. I even heard that there are some people who they want to have it after Pesach, so they have to buy it from the supermarket because the supermarket is not selling that, because for that to them this is not chametz gomer. So they're keeping it in their shelves and they're not including this over the guy. So some people who are makler to hold that machine made matzah is chametz gomer, they have to buy it in the market before Pesach, have it in their house, sell it. Those who sell chametz gomer like us, and then we can have that after Pesach. And then second more important point is it's again many times when Pesach falls on Shabbos, we had it 10 years. Is what about the brachos? When can you prepare the brachos for after Pesach or not? You know, the minhag is that the first 7 days of Pesach we're makpid not to have the brachos, and when it comes to after Pesach we're makpid to have the brachos. The question comes up: what happens on after Pesach, which is called the Shabbos? Can you prepare negelach or matzah brai or things like that you have to prepare in advance? Not you can do on Shabbos. Can you do that in a year? So it's brought down that the Rebbe would eat negelach on after Pesach, and it says that one time after Pesach fell on Shabbos and they didn't serve negelach, and the Rebbe, I think the Rebbe mentions that the Rebbe was not happy about the fact that they didn't serve negelach on after Pesach called the Shabbos. And we find a similar discussion regarding kidneys also. In that because Shabbos is not Pesach for them anymore. As long as you can sell your kidneys, as long as you know that it's not Pesach, so question comes up to them: can they take the kidneys and start preparing food for Shabbos? So before we have to separate the two. There's different opinions. Before there's a discussion if the issue is only achila on Pesach, or if it's also the hana on the. So generally most Rabbanim hold that it's only issue of achila, and we see in our community is can you wash the floor of your house? Also when it comes to feeding children, you can separate and say that it's for children, you don't pay it anything. But the main question is, can you wash your floor on Pesach, or can you wash your hands if you're washing in your bathroom, if you have gebraucht in your hands? So according to most Rabbanim, there's no issue of owning, there's no issue about your gebraucht, only issue of achila. However, there are some Rabbanim who think that Sitsky, and if I'm not mistaken, I think Rav Landa also, I think most Rabbanim, Rav Aşkенazī, I think most Rabbanim hold that there is an issue of gebraucht even the Balirov and Matzah. And to the extent that they say that in a year like this, you should not prepare gebraucht on Shlish and Pesach. You should not prepare at all gebraucht, because the chumrah of the Alter Rebbe of the gebraucht applies also to all these inyanim, not just achila. However, there are many that say that no, the gebraucht, the issue is only achila. So the question is, can you make it this year? So what's the question? So there are two questions. Can you make it on if we just established that there's no problem with making it? When should you make it, or can you make it at all? So the shaila is, if you do it on Shlish or Pesach, we know that Rebbe brings that the food that you prepare on Erev Yom Tov, on Erev Shabbos, when you rely on the Erev Tashuvim, it has to be ready long before Shabbos comes in, and we state that the gas will arrive, you can serve them. So the whole shaila comes up by kidneys and also by gebraucht, if we rely on this or not to prepare the gebraucht on Friday. We say that we have everything that might come and they need it. And there's some discussion if you should do it if you can do it on Yom Tov. Some people say you should do it on Chol Hamoed. There's many different smartest one way or the other. Some issues that are involved is also that there's a kashash that you might end up eating, like we mentioned also by the Eid of Tashuvim itself. So here we're talking about preparing the gebraucht. So there's a kashash that you can prepare too early in advance. Every year, we say, even according to the Rabbanim who say that you're allowed to make gebraucht on Pesach, and on a regular year, they don't say that you should prepare before after Pesach. They say they should cook on Yom Tov on after Pesach. There's many problems with that. Kashash, you might eat it. There's some people say it's also muktzah on Yom Tov. You make something that you can't eat it. You can't serve somebody, even though something you can give to kids. Depending on the situation. And some people even say there's a kashash minus ayin, that you're preparing something on Shlish Pesach, which you're making gebraucht. Somebody might see you preparing the gebraucht and say, oh, I can make gebraucht. So a lot of people say to prepare Chol Hamoed. There's also some issues that in any ways, if you're going to prepare on Chol Hamoed, you're making knedel on Chol Hamoed, you're going to have to heat up on Friday again for Shabbos. So you're again relying on the Eid. You're going to do Atmana, you're going to do Bishul on Friday. You're not going to assume that knedel cold, I'm assuming. So most food that you're already preparing in Chol Hamoed, you're going to have to heat up anyways on Yom Tov. So again, you're going to back to the problem of relying on the Eid of Tashuvim. Another issue is that there's a fakir request to if you can not only from Yom Tov to Shabbos, there's a fakir that you can prepare on Chol Hamoed from one day to the next. So from Chol Hamoed to Yom Tov, for Shabbos, it's not so simple that you can start preparing things on Chol Hamoed. You can't eat on Chol Hamoed itself. And you're going to serve only on Shabbos after okay, and some are right that you should actually do it dafke 1 hour before Shabbos comes in, 1 hour before Shabbos. That's when you should prepare the gebraucht food, whatever you're making. So you have to be careful that you have to make sure that it's there's time during the day that if Oichim would come, you still have the ability of serving them this food. So the sikkum, the Rabbanim and Eretz Yisrael, and some who say that we don't make gebraucht on Pesach. So this year you're gonna have to survive without any gebraucht. Even though you have to eat gebraucht on Pesach. We're talking about. Right, but for that, we will, okay, but they say for now, for this year, for them, we're talking about fitness. Yes, but even this year, not so. If you ask this Rabbanim and so, if you can prepare fitness is even more strict. But even gebraucht, they're going to say that you should not prepare it for Shabbos. They allow you to gebraucht for Shabbos. I mean, that's the only time that they get to have the pleasure of eating gebraucht. But it's not yet for this year. 100%. Everything I'm saying is a lot of other minds. I'm not positive. So of course you have to be brought to you can take some matzah, mix it with wine, with water, whatever you want. We're talking about cooking, making a special hot meal for Rosh Pesach. So the Rabbanim still say you cannot do it, and then some those who say that you could do it. So there's a focus that you should do it on Yom Tov, on Shvish Pesach for Shabbos, relying on Leil Tashrin, or you should do earlier on Moed. Now, regardless of when you're making, you have to be careful not to eat it. So of course you have to put it in a place that you can only eat it on Rosh Pesach. And also you should designate the utensils, the dishes that you're using for the process. You should also put it away until either after Pesach or until next year. What time is it? Okay. One more point that I want to discuss is using the matzah for the Deir Tashim matzah that you use to make Deir Tashim, to use it for lechem mishneh. So it's not that this concept of since we use it for one mitzvah, we use it for many mitzvahs. We find this by the rabbis of Lulav, by the rabbis of the Shainas, by tzitzis, and if you have one tzitzis used for snorim. And also regarding the matzah, since we use it for mitzvah, we should also use it for lechem mishneh on the Sudas Shabbos. Now this year, Sudas Shabbos, we're going to have Sudas Shlishes for Sudas Mashiach. So there's a whole computer place in the file. If you need a lechem mishneh on Yom Tov, if you need a lechem mishneh for Sudas Shlishes on Shabbos, if you need lechem mishneh for the third or more meals on Yom Tov, I'm not getting into that, but the Maaseh of there brings that the Sudas Shlishes on Shabbos, we should be marked to have lechem mishneh. So specifically this year, that after Pesach on Shabbos, I mean even Yom Tov, the person should be try to have the Rebbe had sikh and the sikhs for the Klan about the going the Chilta and Rashi, but the Maaseh specifically this year, the after Pesach on Shabbos, I think we should be marked to use the first use the matzah for the lechem mishneh on Friday night and Shabbos day, and also finally use it for lechem mishneh again. Eat it by Sudas Mashiach, but not only that, we also have lechem mishneh by Sudas Mashiach. Just want to point out, it's not likely to be beitzei, a meal of Shabbos or beitzei on both lechems or both matzahs on Friday night, Shabbos day. So there's also discussion considered what we should do. We should continue with that tradition and end up breaking the matzah on the day Shabbos Kodesh, or if you should hold on to it and only break one matzah and keep it the matzah for the day of Tashim. Just to conclude, there's a sikha from the Rebbe head of Shavuos Tashim and Hay. Shavuos was not Shavuos, I think was Sunday, Monday, was like this year, if I'm not mistaken. It was not the Nidar Tashim, but the Rambam Yemi was talking about Nidar Tashim. The Rebbe mentions about the Mila that we spoke about the Nidar Tashim, that when Mizaki al the Yidin, so we see the idea of the Avos Yisrael. The Rambam says that a person has to announce in whatever it is that he should take Nidar Tashim for anybody who needs to rely on it. And we see something significant and unique about Nidar Tashim that when Mizaki al the Yidin in town. And the Rebbe connects to the idea of a consultation. The consultation is also one of the mitzvahs that we have that shows Avos Yisrael. So I think that actually that Pesach Hamina did not have oilfin in that flour, we don't have gas. So when we make a Nidar Tashim on this Erev Shisha Pesach, the time is mentioned, we should have in mind that we're to the idea of Avos Yisrael, that we're being Mizaki all the Indian in the town, and that we should be able to continue in the Avos Yisrael, especially as we go into the period of Siddur Seimer, to be speed the coming of Mashiach and Mamash.
All what he said is only la'aloch Elohim. What to do with my say? You can make them Friday.
I just want to mention we have here Arik working and Moshe Marozov. They're collecting for Zorchei Prag, and please, Yain Yokto. Also, I want to mention there is going to be in Hashem Tahaluk for Shlish Pesach.
If anybody wants to speak, they can come up to Chaim Teitelbaum, and if he's not available, I'll do his job and he can come.
No, but it's in our on it.
Right. My review is 17. Hey, man, let me do my job here. Ich darf gehen zu kein Buch. Ich gehe mal mit Malmokim.
Was? Graduated.